got this axe head last week and I saw that picture pretty much. Let me see it. So it's Kelly Dandenong. I didn't bother looking through all the other pictures because if I did, I would have noticed this. And so I can't really sell it because it's fucked. But I could probably still use it, so I'm going to chuck it on this handle, which is a handle I made, and then halfway through, well not halfway, at the start I noticed that, but wanted to finish it, which means I can't really sell that because it might break, because there's a bit of an imperfection there. So I'm going to clean this head up, see what I can do with that, hang it on this handle, and see if I can use it for a bit before it explodes, basically. So that's after a bit of grinding that back off, and I've kind of done a little bit there. I'll clean that up a little bit more maybe, or I think I'm just going to leave it because what I will do is blue that, and so it's not such a eyesore. So it's a completely different color, and I don't like that bit there. So that's one of the, and you can also see that there's little cracks everywhere. So I don't know how long it will last, but it looks like it's not a bad job from the back. So we'll see. That is one of the issues with these axe heads. So for anyone that doesn't know, you probably do know, this is called a Tasmanian pattern. So Kelly produced a Tasmanian pattern called the Dandenong. And it was exported from Canada typically to Australia and New Zealand. And Dandenong, I think, is a place near Sydney, which is a kind of a big old bushland area. I think someone will correct me. And I think these axes are from around like the 1930s to 1950s, 60s. Harley will know. Harley McEwen. He knows everything about axes, and he can always get you an axe. So if you're after a specific Tassie, get in touch with Harley. But yeah, the problem was that the back, this part here is called the pole, and it's typically quite small, and all the weight is in the cheeks. It makes it a great splitting axe, but then if you turn it around and start using this as a hammer, there's a high chance that especially if you're hitting metal, it's going to break at some point or crack. And so a lot of these Tasmanian patterns back in the day would have been used for all sorts of work, and if you hit it too hard on a bit of metal, or even probably on a fucking chunk of wood, it would crack the pole. So you will find a lot of these great axes have just got these cracks, and you can weld them, and they can be usable again. And so this one is going to be a user for however long it lasts. I will need to put an edge on it. But here's a tip: don't do the edge if you're doing the back, because that will cut you if that's sharp. So for example, is a Kelly wood slasher. It's a not very great with me axe patterns. Dayton, Michigan, not sure. But the pole is a lot fatter or chunkier. And so these axe heads can typically be used for banging wooden wedges into trees when you're felling them. So these can be wedge bangers basically. Whereas these Tasmanian patterns just aren't designed for that because they don't have enough meat behind them. And so if you do use them for hammering in stuff, you're going to crack them. So, blued, quick sharpen. That's a nice splitting profile. Quite happy with that. It's not razor sharp, I don't think. It's not razor, but you can shave your nails with it. There's the back. So I've just made it look a little bit nicer and then blued it so it doesn't stick out as much. There's the other bit that I had to sort out. And so now you can see it. It says, ooh, here we go, made in Canada. Is that True Temper? Yep, True Temper. Your world's finest Kelly Dandenong, ready to be hung and put back to work. And it doesn't look awful. One thing I do need to do is these, let's have a look. Can you see these bits of wood that are curling over? That is called a shelf. And that can cause a lot of tension on the handle. And so what you do, and see that bit of wood's flicking back? That could make that whole shoulder fall apart. So what I'm going to do is get a file and file in here so it's less harsh when it digs into the wood, so you won't get that shelf develop. We're on and we're ready to wedge. So all I'm going to use is a simple elm wedge. I had this off cut, so I've just, there you go, look, that's where the wedges come from. Made it fit the eye of the axe, which is that part. That hole in the axe is called the eye, and this part of the wood that goes through the eye is called the tongue. So the way the axe head stays on is that you cut a curve down the middle, and this part of the eye is slightly wider at the top than it is at the bottom. So this wedge will go in and spread all that wood out, and then friction will keep it on. And so I've cut it out, and we should get quite deep, and that will be securely on, and hopefully it won't come off. But also I am aware that it's got a cracked pole, so if I go too crazy and bang it in too much, we might open the crack again, so we'll see. I usually glue the wedges in, so what I'll generally do when I kind of make the standard axe is I'll get some linseed oil, soak the tongue in oil and let that oil go all the way down, and then I'll put some glue in the middle of the kerf and then knock the wedge in. But I'm not going to glue this one. I don't know why, just because I'm keeping it. I'm going to see if I can not glue it and just see what happens. So I'm going to put some oil down the kerf. I need some more oil, it seems. Have we not got any? Oh, there we go. Get that all down there. And then get a little bit on the wedge. And also I'll leave it for a little bit to let it kind of soak and stuff, but not today. And then all I'm going to do is smash that until I can't smash it anymore. So what I generally use is I've got this wooden mallet to finish it off. But to start with, I like using one of these club hammers, sledgehammers, I don't know what you call these, to get it going. But I'm also going to be looking out to see if the axe head bounces, which means the axe head comes up from where I've seated it. I'm trying to use less terminology, but I don't know what else to use instead. So seating means when it's in place and seated. So I don't want it bouncing off. So I'm just gonna start doing a little tappy tap. Fucking respirator's getting in the way. So let's have a go. Oh, it feels good. It feels good. That's a perfect size wedge. So I'm just making sure the wedge is going in nice and evenly. And look, so it is. But I'm gonna get that as deep as I can. So what I'm gonna do now, let's take it out. Just go to town with it with this wooden mallet. I like the wooden mallet because it's got a very large surface area, so I can hit all of that wedge, or hit the front if it needs to go in the front, or the back if it needs to go in the back. So I need to put that on the, that's a bit bunged up. And what I also do is look to see if it's bouncing, and if it is bouncing, I can just tap the head forward to make sure it stays in place. So we'll just see how it goes. So that's going down nicely. One thing you want to look out for is when part of the wedge starts hitting the back of the axe, and then you start getting these curls, and that can crack the wedge. So what I do is I have this hatchet. Thanks, Rebecca. And I just kind of take it off as much as I can, but I'm going to have to put a device to do this. That you will be hitting metal, so you dull the hatchet or the knife at times. That's all right, because you. Oh, there we go. Fucking knew that was going to happen. So the weld hasn't really held up, and we've got a crack developing, and that's why. You know, if you can see that, I didn't want to go too crazy with the wedge, so I'm actually not going to bang that in anymore because I think that's all tight around there. And if I keep going, because that's got a crack, we're just going to open it right up. So we're done. Here it is, finished. It looks better than what it came like. The back looks a lot better, but you know, that little hairline crack is a little bit annoying. But whatever, I knew that was a potential problem, but it's a working tool now. So I don't know how long the handle will hold with these little, or with this little imperfection. I've had old handles that have got things worse than that in them, and they've been going probably for close to 100 years. So with any luck, that won't impact the handle, and the head should be a nice splitter for a few seasons, or for as many seasons as I want to keep using it. We'll see though. So that's what it looks like. I'm not sure how long this handle is. I would guess 31 inches. The head, I think, I haven't even weighed it, but I reckon just a bit under, between 3.5, 4 pounds. Yeah, so that's it. We'll go and see what it's like in a few days, and hopefully it splits some wood nicely. There's a wedge. That's what elm looks like. Kind of looks similar to white oak. Yeah, there you are. A dodgy Kelly Dandenong Tasmanian pattern on a hand-carved dodgy ash handle with Totra palm swells. These palm swells come from fence posts that we've got on the property. Totra is a native New Zealand timber, and they used to use Totra for fence posts because it's bloody hard and it's very rot resistant. So these palm swells are probably as old, if not older, than the axe head. So that's pretty cool.